It looks like we can go live there. Yep, that's working. And we're right at the hour. Nice. Okay, it looks like we're live. Okay, so I'll have to click the pause button when it, otherwise it looks like we can go live there. All right, so it looks like we can go live there. There we go. All right. When I go live on YouTube, it always gives me a kind of a duplicate first couple of seconds if I don't turn it off. And so that's good to go. And now I'll start the recording. And welcome everyone to our Friday morning live stream for the Teachers of God Foundation. My name is Bill Free. If I don't know you already, I love this part of it because usually we don't get to see all of you, all of the participants on the live stream. I remember seeing some of you last month. Which is, I think that was last month the first one that we had, or the second one. But now we get to see the other direction. And I want to welcome everyone this morning and welcome my beautiful wife, Lisa Natoli. Hello, babe.
Hi, guys. Nice to
Hey,
see you all. Hey, Treese, back at ya.
there's Tree. Yes.
Treese is one of our camera people, and Bonnie Kimball and Linda Dudna. So it's good to see you guys here. And like I always say on these video ones, don't be shy and feel free to put your camera on. And if you're here on Zoom, you can scroll through, and I see more people coming in here, and it's so exciting to see all of you and the names and to join together in this way. And today is Oliver Blue. Yay. You guys are going to love him. And Jennifer Breakey, you're going to love her. And yeah, this is our Course of Miracles joining and gathering. So welcome everyone, and I'll give it back to you, Bill.
Well, thanks, babe. And if you have anything you want to share, just feel free to, uh, just raise your hand or speak up, whatever you want to do. And I just want to give a shout out here to Treese Atkinson, Treese A on the screen. Treese, just for you guys that don't know this, she has been a camera person for the last few months to take Bonnie's place over at the Friday group, but she's much more than that. Treese has been working for the foundation on and off for about 4 years, and she stepped away for a couple of years or so to support her father and in his transition. And she just is a beautiful soul. I love you so much, Therese, and you have such a big heart. And I love to see the way you took care of your dad and now your mom, and your mom's awesome. I mean, I can't believe how vibrant and alive she is. And she looks like an older version of you, actually. I thought, oh, you look like Therese. But anyway, I just want everyone to recognize that Therese is part of the foundation, and she is so helpful for us. She's a technological genius, and the things that look really great in the foundation are the result of her predecessor, Amy, and even before her, Amy inherited Therese, and now Therese inherited a little bit of Amy, and she's bringing back the influence of Therese's expertise to the foundation. So thank you so much, Therese. You're awesome.
And plus,
And
she's super funny. She's super funny.
she's super funny. When we first met, Therese, it was so funny. It was when you were teaching that day, as I recall, and Therese came to the Friday group with her arm in a sling, and she stood up and started talking and saying that somehow that she had been liberated from her job and you were celebrating it. You were celebrating that Lisa was going, yay, she's liberated from her job. I don't remember the exact details, but that's the first time I remember meeting Treese, and she is a totally a total stitch. She should be a stand-up comedian sometimes. I know. And if you look once in a while, you see that little cat condo up in her left over her shoulder. Okay, there's the cat. Well, she has two of these critters, and they start doing their thing in the background while she's online. So anyway, I just want to welcome everyone being with us this morning. And like Lisa said, go ahead and turn your cameras on and show up in your robe or pajamas, however you want to show up, and just be part of the community. We're all family here, and it's like I said last month. You know, don't be afraid to when we come to the question and answer. Don't be afraid to raise your hand, to say something, to if you have any questions that are uh, that you want an answer to, just raise your hand and don't be bashful because this is your family who loves you and we support you in however you show up right here. And I speak the same truth for Oliver. I speak the same truth for Jennifer. And thank you for your willingness to step up and share the light that is within you, that is within each of us. And I'm going to invite Oliver, I'm going to invite you. Oh, and Oliver's with his mother that's 88 years old. Yes, that loves the 40 day. She loves Lisa Natoli. I had a conversation with Oliver last night. This guy, he's awesome. And I'd love to meet your wife. Is it Yolanda? I'd love to meet her one day whenever it's possible. It looks like I need to plug in my computer before we go offline all of a sudden. Let me do that. And okay, I'm plugged in. Good. So I think I'm going to start with Jennifer. Are you ready to go? I'm going to start with you, Jennifer. Why don't you first of all let me give a proper introduction to for Jennifer. I have it right here. Um, Here we go. Let's see. So Jennifer Breakey is, let's see, where's your bio? Sorry, Jennifer. Well, Jennifer is an international, I think I'm messing this up, Jennifer. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say Jennifer is a beautiful, she's a beautiful being, and I'm not going to try to read your bio. I'm just going to say what I know, that she comes all in service to the truth, and she's been part of many of our programs. She's in Living in Purpose, and she's a teacher of God. She is amazing. She has a coaching. She has Agora Academy that she's the founder of, and she's the author of 12 Steps to Loving You. And you can find Jennifer at Jennifer Breakey, BREAKEY.com, JenniferBreakey.com, and I'll put a link to her website in the chat for you guys. But I just want to say thank you, Jennifer, for being part of this open mic and for being part of the Teachers of God Foundation. The way you show up, you're so all in, and you're always encouraging everyone in any of our Facebook groups. And so everyone, please give a warm welcome to Jennifer Breakey. Jennifer, the
Thank
mic is
you.
all yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me, Bill?
Yep, yep.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, so Bill, I'll send you the new website details later, but I asked the Holy Spirit. I was sitting one day and I said, I'm in. I'm all in. What do you want me to talk about in an open mic session? So, whose hearts need what message? Just give it to me. I don't want to spend time talking things that don't make sense. It's got to speak truth, because truth sets us free. So the bio for me, I am from Cape Town, South Africa. I have one daughter who is 24 years old. She's married and living in Indianapolis. In fact, it was her birthday on Wednesday, so that was quite amazing. And just a very quick bio. I'm an ex-HR director. My corporate background is labor law and psychotherapy. And I decided in 2016, enough of the corporate world. I've done my service there. I said, God, light, Holy Spirit, I'm yours. I'm giving up this huge salary. I'm giving up this huge house. I'm walking away. I'm giving my stuff away. Send me to the world and tell me what you want me to do. Because our time on earth is limited and I know I have a lot to give. And so I'm here. My calling, my passion and my calling is really to bring love and healing to the world, one person at a time, one business at a time. So it's honestly to bring healing and love into the workplace. So it's very interesting how this is unfolding, and that's just a little bit about me. Okay, so what I asked was, what are the things that I do that I can share experientially with others that they could relate to? And that is, we hide from God through the busyness of our lives. And to say this, before I start, I have to ask, do you know, or did you know, or do you know, there are 6,500 languages in the world, of which 2,000 are only spoken by 1,000 people or less. So there are a lot of languages. So there are how many names for God, how many names for the Holy Spirit, how many names for Jesus. And it's just linguistics. I studied linguistics and I really got to understand the terminology we use is a point of reference. But I'm fully sold on A Course in Miracles. I was going to send Lisa an email sometime this week, but I just didn't get around to it, to say, I am bringing A Course in Miracles into the workplace through the direction of Jesus. And Jesus must open my eyes to see what I can see, because being an ex-corporate executive, I understand the boardroom ethic. You can't just go in there and speak spiritual context, but you can go in there and speak truth. So there's a fine balance to be had. So I said to God, okay, what do I do that is a hindrance, that is a hindrance to my growing in my calling? What is a hindrance in my growing? And it was very, very easy for God to say, your busyness. Your busyness keeps you preoccupied with other things. And a while ago, I did a thing with Lisa, and where I did a schedule, a 7-day schedule of, like, really on a book study, what do I do with my time during the day? It was mind blowing how much I do to avoid spending time with God, to avoid sitting in the silence, to avoid just breathing and catching my breath. I have 3 websites. I work from early in the morning till late at night. I've got clients all over the world, and I'm very busy all the time. Then when I relax and I watch TV, I have my famous iPhone and I'm playing Scrabble while I'm watching TV. So in my tracks, it was the busyness of your day keeps you from being with me. So I paused and I said, why? And I really dug deep, and it was fear. Fear kept me from experiencing time with God. And what was I scared of? The past belief, God's going to tell you to give something up. Oh, well, there's not much more to give up, God, so that's okay. What else? I'm scared God's going to tell me to go and speak to someone I don't necessarily like. Interesting. But why don't you like that person? That person is really you. And so I dug deeper and deeper into this fear that existed. And I just suddenly realized the busyness kept me from God. But then God showed me a tremendous sense of humor that He has. He spoke to me even through my busyness. Even through my busyness, God was constantly speaking to me. I heard things in TV programs I watched that resonated, and I had what is a satori, an instant awakening. Wow, I just heard from the Holy Spirit. And this morning, when I woke up, I've been doing this for a long time now. I lie in bed and hand on the heart and center myself and just say thank you, thank you, thank you for a beautiful day. Thank you for another day. As Cindy Krupp says, isn't this a great day to have a great day, or something like that? And I had a vision, and it was so crystal clear. I saw a wall, but it was made of big boulders, rocks, beautiful rounded rocks, and water was seeping through. And the Holy Spirit said to me so clearly, no matter what walls of busyness, no matter what walls of defenses you put up to stop me flowing in your life, I will find the cracks and I will flow through. And no matter what walls you perceive in your brother, because they really are your walls you're seeing, I will flow through them as well, and they will be my instrument to speak to you too. And I really had to stop and sit with that. I really had to stop and say, okay, I can't con God by being busy because God's going to talk anyway. I can't con God by not wanting to hear because I'm going to hear anyway. So I asked God, please give me a pertinent text from A Course in Miracles that resonates with this. And I opened this up and came to this one, which is perfect. The new habit, and I'm reading from the purple book, but the new habit of engaging with God and his creations is easily made if you actively refuse to let your mind slip away. Your problem is not concentration. It is a belief that nobody, including yourself, is worth consistent effort. Side with me consistently against this deception. Do not permit this shabby, I love this word, do not permit this shabby belief to pull you back. The disheartened are useless to themselves and to me, but only the ego can be disheartened. And we are not the ego, we are the light of the world. So I read this, and it speaks about a new habit of engaging with God and his creations. And the one thing that God says, or that Jesus actually says in writing this, is actively, so it's an effort on your part, actively refuse, just categorically refuse to let your mind slip away. If you're spending time with God, and I love the way Bill once described this last year sometime, if you are distracted in a meditation, or you are distracted in your moments of quietness, just see the thoughts drifting on by like clouds in the sky and come back to yourself. And I've been practicing that, and I still I'm inclined to kind of cut things out, but less and less and less. And so that's really amazing to see. But to bring this closer to it, so God says, your busyness keeps you from listening to me completely and utterly focused on me. So I said, okay, well, who is this God that I am going to commune with? God, according to A Course in Miracles, the infinite being who created the sons of God, created heaven as the dwelling place of his sons, created the Holy Spirit as the communication link with his separated sons, and indeed created reality itself. So created the Holy Spirit as the communication. So I said, okay, let's just go deeper into this, shall we? So I said, okay, Holy Spirit, you are the medium through which God is communicating with us. So let's look at you, the Holy Spirit, the third person of the Trinity, who was created by God in response to the separation, talking about the separation again, as God's remaining communication link with his separated sons. And I love this. He is both the voice for God and the voice of God, who guides all of the sleeping sons back to awakening. And it speaks to me again of the busyness. So God wants to communicate with us, but we stay busy and we stay stuck to avoid hearing God. But God's only interested in our goodness. He's only interested in our happiness. And that is a very different way of thinking versus the religious input that we have when we're growing up. And then the last one, Jesus, one of God's sons, inherently equal to the rest, who became fully awake to his identity as Christ. By becoming the first to complete his own part in the plan for salvation, he became the leader of that plan. Now, I love this. I love this. And just before I read that last sentence, Lisa had a picture a while ago that she showed her best picture of Jesus. And I remember, I can't remember the artist, but I created just a picture that's on my desk. And I just love them. They're just pictures that show miracles, walking on water, Jesus' gentle side, just the joy. I mean, this picture I love, the happiness and the joy of Jesus, and Jesus helping us in storms. And Jesus has been the love of my life for as long as I can remember, that literally from about 3 years old. And I love this. It says, Jesus, he is still available for help and therefore encourages us. Listen to this. I just want to get it, it's just so touching. Encourages us to cultivate a relationship with him and to regard that relationship as real. I just want to read that last bit again. He is still available for help and therefore encourages us to cultivate a relationship with him and to regard that relationship as real. And so I said, okay, Jesus, I get it. And he was like, yeah, look, you go visit your friend for a cup of coffee and you're sitting down in the kitchen and you're making coffee, but your friend's running around and she's cooking and you're drinking coffee, trying to talk to her, and she's answering her phone, and she's not fully engaged with you at that moment. You're still friends. You're not cross with her. She's not cross with you. You're just getting on with the busyness. God is always there when you're busy. But how much better to stop an instant and be fully engaged with God, like fully engaged with your friend having coffee. How are you? What's going on in your life? You know, these are the things I'd like to share with you. How can I serve you? How can I help you? And that was such an eye opener for me. And to end off, I wanted something beautiful to end off, and it's lesson number 232. 232 is be in my mind, my Father, through the day. Be in my mind, my Father, when I wake, and shine on me throughout the day today. Let every minute be a time in which I dwell with you, and let me not forget my hourly thanksgiving that you have remained with me, and always will be there to hear my call to you and answer me. As evening comes, let all my thoughts be still of you and of your love, and let me sleep sure of my safety, certain of your care, and happily aware I am your son. And something that I just want, that's what I wanted to end with. No matter what your busyness is, please, I understand people not wanting to hear necessarily the truth because they say the truth hurts. The truth doesn't hurt, the truth just sets you free. Hurt is just an illusion. The truth sets you free from bondage. The truth sets you free from separation. The truth is, we can all follow the next teaching. I'm doing the 40-day program and I love doing it all the time. I'm redoing the healing cure. I absolutely am enthralled in it. I I listen to teachers along the way, and I listen and I can get so involved in my growing, and I can get so involved in doing the right thing, but spending too little time in the presence of God, spending too little time in the unity of the fact that time doesn't exist and we are already with the Father. So I encourage you, don't feel guilty if you're busy. God will speak to you no matter what you're doing, but let the fear go. The fear doesn't have to control you. You're the one, and just remember, you're the one where it says, um, let me just go there. And the new habit of engaging with God and his creations is easily made if you actively refuse to let your mind slip away. And side with me consistently. Do not permit this shabby belief to pull you back. So, namaste. I hope for those of you that this resonates with, don't worry how busy you are. Please don't think that God isn't with you. He's with you as your hair on your head is. God is with you wherever you go. I love you. I bless you. And I just thank you for all being part of the same community as me. I'm so happy. Thank you.
That thank you, Jennifer. That was a beautiful sharing. And wow, so much content in 20 minutes or 15 minutes. Oh my God, that was awesome. Thank you. And refreshing too. Yeah, really. Well, that workbook lesson that you read, that has what was the number? Was it 252, did you say? What was it?
232.
232.
232. Yeah.
Okay, the South African accent has me.
I know. Sorry.
I'm not hearing it right. Yes, be in my mind, my Father, through the day. There's a beautiful song that is that the 12 great rays that do that song, babe? That be in my mind,
It is.
my
Yeah,
Father, when I wake. Right? Is that the
that
12
is.
great rays that do that? Yes. Great song and a great workbook lesson to meditate on and really bring into your heart and your experience as a devotional experience, a devotional song, even, and prayer, whatever you use in that way. But these, at my experience, and I love how you reminded us. I'd like for you to put on the chat board where that verse is, where Jesus says to to speak to him as a to be his friend. Let him come in and be have a relationship with you. That was I'd like to reread that myself, if you'll put that in the chat board. And this is why I think it's so valuable to have this online open mic, because now we get to hear beings from all over the world to be able to share the expression of God's love back with us from not just this local place that, the Friday group is a beautiful place, and it's been our home for over 6 years. And it's the place that called us, and then that place called us to reach out to all of you and there's 4,500 people that are in it, just that are rotating in the Friday group, who have registered to be part of this ministry. And I'm grateful to have such a big community of brothers and sisters that love the truth and express the truth and have, we're evolving in consciousness, and there's no containment for the truth or the expression of the truth. And it's so beautiful for us. And I know I speak for Lisa, and I'm gonna invite you to say something here in a minute. So I just want to say that I speak for both of us when I say this was our heart's goal from the beginning, that the Teachers of God Foundation, that we would be in service to encourage and support, and then now with technology, we're enabling others to come and have a voice and to share from the heart of truth that they are. And we're going to hear from Oliver in a minute. This guy, I love this man. He is so on fire for God, just as much as Jennifer is and the rest of us. But it feels so good to have this expression of God's love come in the many different ways that it does. And Jennifer is a beautiful expression. Whenever I hear my wife Lisa from the very beginning, it just sings to me, and it still does. And I saw Dove Fishman on the line here. I think he's probably transmitting this into Gather as because he's always had this love for Lisa's teaching and her voice, and he has been an outlet for the truth and an encouragement to all of us also. And so before we pass it on to Oliver Blue, Babe, do you have anything that you want to share from what Jennifer just said? I know that she connected with a lot of things that you totally.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you, Jennifer. Wow. You know, one of the reasons I know I say it quite a lot is the reason we wanted to create this Course in Miracles group is, and the Teachers of God Foundation, is that it would be a place that individuals could begin expressing this message. And what I love to see more than anything is authenticity. You know, it's like there's been such a long period of spiritual transformation and awakening and ideas about it, that so many people have an idea based on other people they've watched of how it's supposed to look. And it really looks the way you look. That's really been my experience. It's like we begin allowing the blocks to be removed. I loved what you said, Jennifer, about the wall and the water coming through. That is so true. Like, you can't block this love. You cannot, you know, you can slow it down, but you cannot stop it. And just a final thing I want to say before we bring Oliver Blue on is I love what you expressed, Jennifer, about the unworthiness and the communication. And it was reminding me of a story that's in the cameo lessons in the Purple Book of Course in Miracles, where Bill Thetford asked Helen Schuckman to ask Jesus, which is our holiness. That's the Holy Spirit. Our holiness, this voice that's speaking to us, is our holiness. That's the voice of truth. And we all want to hear that voice, but we can't hear it in the busyness. And when Helen got an answer from Jesus for Bill, she was told, this is so great, is that Bill, and this is all of us, we ask for help, we get quiet, hand on the heart, or however we do it. We're like, all right, Father, Jesus, Holy Spirit, I need help. And then he says he signs off. We don't wait long enough. And so what Jesus said to Helen to tell Bill, he doesn't give it enough time. So the voice that's trying to get through to us has to be choppy. He says, I have to be choppy to get the messages through. And that's just not good communication. Like, if we can give it, I love it. If it's like, when we think we've received a message, an answer, give it more time. That's what I say. Like, just when you think like you're done with your meditation, or you're done with your silent time, give it a little more time. Just stay in that space a little bit longer to let the whole message come through. So grateful, Jennifer, and for all of you being here. I am super excited for our next guest, Oliver Blue, who I first became aware of when he was in the 40-day program, and you got on my radar big time, Oliver. And it's just been such a joy for me to watch you go from the beginning. You're totally dedicated in your devotion to the truth. I don't know if Bill, if you want to do a formal introduction, but I can say that Oliver Blue and his wife Yolanda have truly dedicated their entire lives to being the demonstration of this message of truth. And they're both ministers and life coaches, and just total light beings. So, Bill, if you want to say anything, or we just bring Oliver.
Yeah, I do want to say thank you, babe. I love you pick up all the little pieces of the details of whenever anyone has a something to say, and I knew that you would do that perfectly. And I do have just a short bio for Oliver, and all of the things that you just said. Yolanda Blue is his wife, and I got to speak to, besides you kind of called him out a couple of months ago and said, Oliver Blue, you need to get in the open mic and share something, share what you got going over there. And he said, yeah, he would come in and be part of this open mic and share with us, because he has such a passion for the truth, and in a very beautiful and heartfelt way. And he's got a little bit of a minister about him. But and then I learned that he has been a minister, and he has, his background is a little bit like mine in that we came up in the Christian background. He has a little bit of a Baptist background, and then when he found the course back in 2005, everything changed for him, just like it did for me in 2006. If you've got a Christian background and the truth comes in, you're going to see the truth and go, oh my God, this is it. This is what I was always looking for over there. Only now it's coming in and it's me. It's like it's telling me what I am. And that's what Jesus' message always was, to tell us what we are, that we're not different or separate from him. That's why he could say, the things that I do, you shall do and more, because I am one with the Father and you're one with me, because there's only one. There's only one thing, and it's all God. All of it is. And so Oliver is, I just love this guy. He has a corporate job, but you can see that he really wants to hang out in the truth, and this is his community. If you're like, I don't know, he probably just comes in here because this is where he gets the vibe, you know, and that's what we all do. And Oliver has 3 children. He lives in North Carolina, United States, for you guys that are around the world. And he graduated from Winston State College. It was Winston-Salem State College, and he's in the trucking management business. And he is a beautiful guy. He found the Course in Miracles in 2005. He has a lot of spiritual power in what he has to say. And I'm just going to invite all of us to please give Oliver Blue a warm welcome. Welcome, Oliver Blue. The mic is all yours.
Can you hear me there?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Well, Jennifer, thank you. You blessed us with your sharing. And good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm trying to figure out who this guy, Lisa and Bill's talking about. Must be the Christ.
That's right.
It is not that guy that was born in 59 and had a timeline. But it sounded like you were describing Christ and our true self. But I'm so happy to be here this morning. And like Bill said earlier, I drove down in the middle of the night last night because today is my mother's 88th birthday, and she's here with me. Say hello, everyone. Say happy birthday to Mom.
Nice. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Thank you.
All right. And I am just so happy to be in this community. It has been a journey for me since back in February, when somehow, some way, God made it happen, but the teachers of God ended up in my inbox. And that was my entry into this community through the 40-day program. And I signed up for it, went through the 40-day program, and oh my God, life has not been the same. Life has not been the same. And on top of that, I gained all these mighty companions that was already living in this community, in this vibration of love and pure light. And now I am part of that light. And I'm just so happy to be here. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I had no intention of ever stepping forward, Bill and Lisa. I was just enjoying just being again, in the presence of what this organization is doing. And but I want to encourage everyone that's here. If you are here, if your camera is not on because you feel like not quite ready, but if you're here and your camera is on and you don't feel like you don't have anything important to share, I will encourage you just beyond that yes, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be this, I'm going to make myself available, is your greatest happiness. Just beyond that yes, that you're going to step into your Christness, you're going to step beyond the fear of your persona, of your personality, of our own self interpretations of ourselves, which is not that which is true about us, because we're all love and we're all light. So if you're in this community, I encourage you to say yes when the opportunity comes for you to be able to share, because all of us are unique expressions of the one thing, because there's only the one thing, and that is God is. And so if we exist at all on any level, in any dimension, if God is the only thing that exists, that means that you have to be one with him. You have to be a part of that expression. If you ever notice, when you look up at the sun and in its full glory, there's always an extension of the sun in the form of what we call sunbeams. And each one of those sunbeams are unique expressions of the wholeness of the sun. And everything that's in the sun is in the beam. Likewise, if you go to the ocean and you sit there like I do when we go, and if you watch the waves coming in, because they're constantly coming in as an individual expression of the entire ocean, and then it merges back into the depth of the ocean. So likewise, all of us are, all of the 7.7 billion people that are on this planet right now, we're all unique, individual, light expression of the God is. That's what we are. That's who we are. And really, playing small is what the separation is all about, when we don't fully embrace that as this is who I am. I am not my timeline. I am not my birth certificate. I am not, like Jesus said at one point, he had natural parents, but it came a point in his life, which is what the 40-day course is all about, is that he once and for all wanted to settle the identity issue. And so he took the time for 40 days and he went into that desert and he settled it once for all. I and my Father are one and the same. There is no separation. There is no separation. And so, like Jesus, in our unique expression as light and love, which is who and what we are, we all have to face that same question. We all have to finally settle in ourselves the question of our identity and who we are. He was no supernatural. Bill said we came from the Christian, that was our origin, and that was good. Everything about my Christian experience was good because it brought me to this place. Everything about your experiences up until this very moment right now, all of it was very good because it brought you to this place. Mm-hmm. Because the ultimate goal is the waking up of every unique expression to the reality of our oneness with God and our true identity as pure light, pure love, completely innocent, completely whole, completely healed, Nothing needs to be fixed. Nothing's broken. That's our reality. And that's in the 40-day program, which I am also enrolled in the group now that started on October 1st. I'm going through it for a second time. And oh my God. Oh my God. I said, how did I miss this stuff the first time? How did I miss? I didn't realize how much that I missed by going through it the second time. And each time you go through it, I guess Lisa and Bill, this is a infomercial on the 40-day program. I'm completely sold about it. My mom has gone through it twice, but it's, you know, I was supposed to speak today on having a lived experience of being the Christ through practice. And that practice is the practice of forgiveness. You can never get away from the theme of forgiveness. It is the central theme in the course. And the course says that it is the closest thing to heaven in this dimension is forgiveness. It's the closest thing to being heavenly in this dimension. So anyway, I just want to share a couple things with you, and then I'm going to be finished here. But get back to my point. Please step forward, say yes. We want to hear from everyone. You have so much to share. No one can express it like you can express it.
That's right.
You are the light of the world in such a unique way. And there are thousands that are waiting for the teacher to step forward so that your pupils that are assigned to you can appear. There are thousands that will wake up because of your unique expression. So please see the unlimited depth of possibilities for you to be used to wake up the entire sonship. And so I just encourage you. I wanted to say this. Love must be total. And what I found out, again, as I go through the 40-day program, is we cannot hold not even the slightest grievance towards anyone, not even ourselves. It is that slightest grievance that appears to be this huge wall of granite, and it's the thing that keeps the light from coming forth. It's the thing that keeps the light from coming forth in our life, and that is the release of all grievances. We can't even hold the slightest one because that becomes what covers the light of God in us. But I wanted to read this out of the manual for teachers, and it's in the section on how is correction made. And it says, in order to heal, it thus becomes essential for the teachers of God to let all of our mistakes be corrected. And all means all of our mistakes. It didn't say that we correct our error, but it said that it's vital that we allow our errors to be corrected. If he sees even the faintest hint of irritation, even the faintest sense, when we get the faintest sense of being irritated in himself as he responds to anyone, let him instantly realize that he has made an interpretation that is not true. So love must be total. And again, what I'm learning this second trip through the 40-day program is my love must be total. And so that means in every encounter that I have with every human being, I must see them through the eyes of Christ, see them as who they really are, as pure light and pure love, holding no grievances. And when we do have those irritations, just like Jennifer said, that is the time for us to just pause for a moment, like the 40-day says, and turn within to our internal guide and remember who we are and remember who they are, so that we walk in true perception and that we perceive these beings as innocent and whole and guiltless beings. Because if we don't maintain that perception, then we really are not having the peace and experiencing that lived experience as Christ if we see our brother other than pure and whole and complete. So I encourage all of us that to have that lived experience of Christ, here's a few just practical things that we can do. And it's from this section in the manual for teachers. And number one is turning within to our inner guide, just pausing and turning and reminding ourselves that we are pure light, pure love. And not only is that true about us, but it's true about every being on the planet. Also, the practical thing, remembering that we are completely innocent and we accept the atonement for ourselves. Accepting reality that we have been completely free from any illusion of being separated from our Father. And as we do that, then we become miracle workers. Every encounter that we have with every individual becomes an opportunity for us to hold a space for them if they don't see themselves in this place of innocence or have that inner sense of being pure and whole. Then we hold that space for them until they're able to hold that space for themselves. So we become miracle workers in that light. And all of this is experienced through the practice of forgiveness. And so I'm going to end my talk today with thanking Lisa and Bill for creating this environment where teachers of God's can not only be encouraged, but can grow and expand your awareness and join with like beings as you go into your world and become the savior of your world. Because we all have a world that is assigned to us to save, and that's the environment that you live in, that's the relationships that you have. So you are the light of that world. And as we come together to refuel ourselves in these kind of settings, it is such a blessing for us to be able to come together like this. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so happy for all of you. I just see greatness and light and love in all of you. And I encourage all of you, step out beyond that persona, and you'll be amazed at how you'll be used by God. Good morning. God bless you. I love you. Happy birthday to Mom. And also, I got the news less than 24 hours ago that I'm going to be a grandfather. So that just rocked my world. And then I also, in the last 24 hours, my daughter communicated to my wife and I that she's moving back to North Carolina from the city of Washington, D.C. That makes me so happy. So good morning. God bless you. I love you all. Mwah.
Thank you, Oliver. Let's give a warm hand for Oliver Blue. Awesome. That was so beautiful. Yolanda, I see your hand up. Thank you. I can't wait to hear your voice. And Oliver, you got to come back, man. You have a lot to share. You and Jennifer both. I just love hearing both of you to share. It's like gold. It's like golden vibrations of love that comes in as we hear the truth expressed in these different ways, and it's just so true, and it's so bright and alive, and it comes in as a transmission, right? And I just want to first of all, happy birthday, Mom, again. And Yes, happy birthday. Man, you did really good. I don't mean man, I mean ma'am. You did really good right here.
All
This
right
guy,
now.
I know, this guy, he's good. We love him.
Yes, we
Thank you for having him
do.
and
Yes.
for blessing him and being such a great influence in his life. I can tell he's been influenced by you. I know that he
You really
has. So,
have. You really
yeah.
have.
Happy birthday.
Bill, and I can say that my mom, her and I have been journeying on a spiritual path together since 1989. This is the first time I had an encounter with God was in 89. And then, but it was my mom that said, well, I want to know what your experience was. And I want to be involved with what you're involved with, because I want to grow too. And since 1989 up until this moment, like in 2005, when I got Course in Miracles, when I first got a hold of Course in Miracles, it was my wife, Yolanda, and my mom that, I said, here's y'all, I got a book for them too. I said, y'all need to read this.
Yes.
And so she read and did the practice. She tried to get into it, and it was, it's kind of, it's not the easiest when you first just get the book and not have all this kind of support. And then for a while she put it away. But when I got enrolled in the 40-day back in February, I told my mom about it, and she enrolled in the 40-day. She took the 40-day, and at the end of the 40 days, she started over the next day on day one. She went through it a second time. And she has not been the same since. And now the course makes sense to her when she reads it. And now she's going through the 365-day lessons.
Nice. That is so cool.
So again, and I encourage everyone here to invite other people to take that 40-day. That 40-day is really, it is a divine entrance into this awakening process. And
Yes.
that download that Lisa and Bill received to do that and to offer it free to the world, oh my God. So I sent it out to everyone. I have about 2,000 people on my Facebook. So I just sent it out to them, whether they know they need it or not, and say, hey, consider if you are having problems, if you're not happy in life, if you want to up level your spiritual walk, consider taking this course. It changed my life.
Yeah.
It changed my life.
Amen.
And it changed my mom's life too.
Nice. And look at his mom glowing over there like a
Wow.
tree.
Look, she's 88.
88 years old.
You know what's
I
so
want what
funny?
I'll have what she's having.
I
Yeah,
know.
she's 88.
I'm over here like blown away. And I just want to say thank you so much, Oliver. And Mama Blue, I love you.
Yes.
What is your name?
Catherine.
What is it?
Catherine Blue.
Catherine Blue. Yeah.
Well, we're going to have some cake today. And we are
All right.
totally going to celebrate. And you, Catherine, look like you're sweet 16 and never been kissed.
Well, enjoy your cake for me today.
I'm going
Nice.
to. You have some too.
Nice.
Yes.
So good. Well, thank you, Oliver Blue, and thank you, Mama Blue, Catherine.
Yes.
And this has just been a beautiful time of gathering and sharing.
Yes,
And
it
also,
has.
now Yolanda has her hand up. Yolanda, I can't wait to hear from you, honey, because I'm in love with your husband like you. Well, not like you are, but I'm in love with your husband too. And I'm going to ask you to unmute your mic so you can talk to us too. Go ahead, Yolanda.
Hello.
The mic is yours.
Hello, everyone. I don't normally say anything when I'm on, but yes, if you love Oliver like I do, that is a powerful, intense, beautiful, good, holy, and beautiful love, because that's the way I love him. I was actually, good morning, Grandma Blue, love you dearly, and happy birthday. But I was actually going to put in a little comment, and I saw a question that I would love for Oliver to be able to address. And it was a comment about, Oliver, you mentioned Jesus, and it was asking about the other sages, the other leaders. So would you let the people know what your position is on the name of whoever it is that people know as their source?
Yes. it is my understanding from the Course that everything is God, and everything in the world of form is an expression of God. Names, words are twice removed from the truth. It's just symbols of a symbol, and we can use whatever works for us, because your background, your timeline will influence how that is perceived by you, whether it's by a historical figure like Jesus, or by it's influenced by just the creation itself. As you look out and you know that there's some author, someone that had authored all this. So it doesn't matter what the in this dimension, what we refer to it as, is all God. It is God is, and there is nothing else. And so don't let that or anything in this dimensional world become a block to the complete acceptance of the reality of pure light, pure love, which God is and which all of us are, because there's nothing else. That's just God. And we're free to, in our own way, to express it. So I just encourage all of us to not let that be a block. That's just my experience. In fact, and they use the name is used in the Course, but there's many, like the Course says, there's only one experience that we all need to have, but there will never be one universal religion or one universal reference. There will be many of those, but there is one universal experience that we all must have, and that is accepting the reality that God is and there's nothing else. So if anything else exists, it has to be God. And that's kind of my take on it. Thank you for the question. That was a great question. Thank you, Yolanda.
Yeah, I want to say thank you, Yolanda, too, for that question. And thank you, Oliver, for that answer. And, while you were sharing, Oliver, I mean, I felt such a sense of excitement and joy, and really to really see that this message is flowing through so many different individuals now as one. And, you kept saying the same topic about this identification. And, I'm reminded of the line in A Course in Miracles that says, salvation is your happiest accomplishment. And I love that, because salvation is nothing more than the recognition of ourself as light, as love. That's it. Like, that's my happiest accomplishment, not making more money, not achieving anything in the world, not manifesting anything. My happiest accomplishment is knowing myself as light. No color, no age, no body, no timeline, totally eternal, totally limitless, free, one with every mind. And that's where my joy comes from. Like, that really is the place where I have accepted the atonement for myself. Like, I know myself as this light, and it's one with everyone and everything. And so I thank you with all my heart for sharing in all the ways that you do. And I'm so, I don't know, I'm blown away to see that this plan that has unfolded in A Course in Miracles over 50 years ago is now actually happening. Like, it's moved out of concept and words into an actual occurrence that's happening in the world, where more and more people are really seeing, oh, I don't want grievances. I don't have to carry them. I don't have to carry the story. I totally can see that I still slide back a little bit to say, no, not staying there, not hanging out there. That is old. That's the old. And the light has come. And And I love that it's a birthday here today, because so much of A Course in Miracles says, and today let us spend this day in rejoicing and celebration.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that is what I encourage everyone here to do today. Let us have this be the day that we say the past is over. This is it. It's my birthday.
Yes.
Let's all eat cake. Let's all spend the day celebrating our birth into our identity as Christ. And it's just very, very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bill has disappeared, Lisa.
Okay, well, Bill's disappeared. So let's
It looks like Susan Reed had a question.
okay.
She had-
I will
My computer froze.
his computer froze. He's coming upstairs, everybody. Here he comes. I just want to say a few
My
things.
computer froze and Susan Reed has her hand up. Susan, why don't I'm going to unmute your mic if I can. No, you'll have to unmute your mic because my computer's turning back on. So she had her hand up.
Okay.
Go ahead, and I'll get back online.
Okay.
There you go.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here. I'm all for the tool of forgiveness, and the fact, the thing is, by not forgiving, we are only sort of holding on to our own poison, really. But what I find difficult is once one reaches, a more elevated or enlightened state, but you still see in this world so many injustices, even in dealing with, in my building, there are what I consider some scams going on legally. And it's really how one deals with that, I don't believe even that there's such a thing as justified anger, but I do think that where things are amiss, that we do have to, or perhaps we don't have to, get involved in trying to put them right. And I wondered how that gels with the whole concept of not letting things annoy you or whatever.
Yes, thank you, Susan. That's such a good thing you bring up, because I know a lot of people struggle with it. I know I did for years. And I've always said it's like two parts. First, we allow ourselves to have this direct experience of ourselves as something beyond the body. And then we're still here. So now it's that we see things. I don't see injustices. So you said we still see injustices. That's the difference. I still may see people murdering or lying or cheating or deceiving, but I don't see them as injustices anymore. I see them as simply someone who doesn't know who they are and they don't know what they're doing. That's why Jesus said on the cross, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do." Anybody who knows who they are would never murder, never. They would never harm anyone. They wouldn't. So whenever I see someone now harming another and I see the things of the world, that's why we're here. That's why we continue. We're here to be a light in the dark. We're not here to have a happy dream and oh, let's all just get along. No, we've been sent as the reminder, as a total physical embodiment of the truth, that I come as a light in the dark that has forgotten who it is. And so this is where now you can be helpful. And this is where the listening is important. So I see these things, I see only love. That's all I see. And that I can see my brother I can remember times I used to do stupid stuff. I used to lie and cheat I used to do all sorts of stupid stuff. I didn't know what I was doing. I was running scared, and I was trying to survive in a world, and that makes us do things that are just out of alignment with what we are. So that's it's I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that's an important one. We're here really just to remember the truth for everyone. Does that answer the question a little bit?
In one way, yes, thank you. But in another way, it's still when we are actually having, in the concept of forgive the sinner but not the sin, or whatever, it's where people are, where things are being perpetrated upon people. And I've always been somewhat of a whistleblower. It is whether you start blowing that whistle and bringing people's attention to it. I've done it nationally as well, in terms of I'm a no rules person. I hate written rules. I believe in the two Christian commandments, and from that you don't need rules, because love is the fundament of all rule. You just don't need it. If everything is done from love, there is no wrong. So, and most of our legal system and our prescriptive laws today are based on fear and not love. And so I'm very, very much against that. But once one is actually having to live on a day-to-day existence, one has to work with what there is out there in the world. And you sign an agreement, because if you're buying a property, you sign your agreement that you will obey the house rules. You have to do that. But if people are actually going against those, then yes, you can forgive the fact that they don't know that they're actually doing it in the sense we're talking about, but they are actually perpetrating, they are breaking the rules that they themselves or society has created. And
well, what's totally beautiful is that you can see through history that there has been things that did need to change. There has been inequality, there has been injustices, and there have been individuals in time who said there must be a better way. Martin Luther King Jr., one of them, my hero. Like he's just said no. Now he's a why guy. He's a big picture guy. He's a visionary guy.
Yeah.
He didn't change the structure of that by himself. He was like the first one that had the guts and the courage to stand up and said, I have a dream. He needed people around him to say, how do we do it now? How do we do it? He needed people around him to say, don't take the buses. And the people around him said, okay, good, I'm all in. So it wasn't just one, it's never one guy. That's why this Teachers of God, of the world, of the Course in Miracles, there's a plan. And if you look at what's happening in more and more people stepping up, this whole Me Too thing, and people, there's movies coming out of things are like, we will not stand for lack of love. We won't do it anymore. And people are standing up. That's what the rising up out of the darkness looks like. People saying, I'm not going to live in fear anymore. I'm not going to hide anymore. But I'm going to do it with love. If you look at all the great leaders of the world, Gandhi, it was all peaceful movement, no violence, no anger. And it was just like there's a rising up out of like, okay, this change is upon us. So this isn't conceptual. We're not sitting in a cave here. We're saying, use me. And like Oliver was saying, each one of us has a very unique contribution in this plan. All of us. Some people are like, okay, the environment. Like and they'll take it on. They'll be like, all right, what do we do here? Some people is like taking care of children and feeding them and schooling and housing. I was just hearing the other day, Amma, who I love, and I guess in India, women can't go to the bathroom. They're not allowed to. So they have to can't use the bathroom all day. They have to hold it in all day long. And then at nighttime, they have to go hide and pee or do whatever. And she's like, that's enough. And she's getting people to get these women to learn how to make bathrooms in India. Like simple, practical things, you see, like, but we have to really allow ourselves to go to this place where we're saying, okay, I'm not going to engage in the grievances anymore. I'm here to be truly helpful. I'm here to help. I'm here to see my brother as myself. Now what? So it's exciting times in my mind for, and I love the topic because I could go on forever on it.
I think it's a great topic and a great question, and we could, Susan, you need to send me an email at billfreeonline@gmail.com so that you can come on next month and we can have a discussion about this further. And because it's a great topic, and it does call for a good answer, because the mind wants to run with this and it wants to turn it into something that keeps you in perception. It keeps you in the human condition, and you can't break loose from there. You have to break loose from a place that's above the battleground, and then the influence of the being, the love that you know is true, it will then inform the mind on what to say to whom and what to do with the situation. But it won't be from a place of attachment, grievances, anger, fear. It'll be a place of pure love, just like Martin Luther King's and Gandhi's. Those were expressions of pure love, nonviolent. And but I'd love to have you come on next month for the open mic. And we're running out of time here. We have 2 more hands up.
Well, I want to just say before we do anything else, before it comes to the end, because I got a text from somebody who went down to the Friday group today. So the Friday group has ended, and it ends on December 8th is the last in-person Friday morning group. And that will have, let's see, we have the month of November.
December 6th. Everyone that's here knows that the Friday group isn't happening.
Not everybody knows, because I just got a text while this was happening that
because they're not here.
Yeah, so everybody, I just wanted to let everyone know, just in case you didn't get the memo and you're not reading the emails, that we're only going in through December 8th.
6th.
6th?
6th. December 6th is our last Friday group.
December 6th. Okay, you're right. Yep. And also we're having a 40-day app launch party on, I know it's so exciting, is on Saturday morning, totally free for anyone who's here. It's a Saturday morning on December 15th.
14th.
Okay, 14th. So Saturday, December 14th from 9 a.m. to 12 at the Sheraton Hotel in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We're going to have a free 40-day launch party. So big.
And we'll live stream it also for free.
Yep. And then I am offering a Healing Cure intensive Quantum Leap Live with Lisa super party on that afternoon and also Sunday morning. So 3 hours on Saturday afternoon, same date as the launch party, 2 to 5. And then Sunday morning, the following day from 9 to 12. So if anybody wants to come, go to my website, lisanatoli.com. You can book a place at the Sheraton. It's just going to be amazing. I'm gonna make my raw cookies, everybody, featuring Lisa's raw cookies and cake. And I know a lot of you are from around the world, but you can be spontaneous like me and Bill and just get on a plane. That's what we do. News comes down out of nowhere and we're like, let's go. So I just wanted to put that out there. And do we have any other announcements?
Well, the other announcement is that we're going to set up a live streaming event if you can't come in person to the December 14 and 15. The December 15th is going to be is a workshop, and Lisa's paying for the space herself, so there will be a charge for that. It's not a lot of money. It's like $125 for
For 2
both
days.
days.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing a live streaming that will be a nominal cost for live streaming. If you can't come, we're going to set up a couple of cameras, and we'll be providing that for you. But yeah, that's what's happening on those two fronts. And we do have two hands up. Yolanda has her hand up. I want to answer her hand, and Valentine has her hand up. So that's all for those local announcements. And we have some really cool stuff happening in the Teachers of God. What is the Transformation Room, the presenter series. We're also going to add TGF TV over there, and a lot of cool other stuff. And if you drop out of the presenter series or the Transformation Room, you might kick yourself a little bit, because it's going to be like a full house, and you won't be able to get back in with your grandfathered price. You're going to come in at a much higher price. So I hope you guys that are in the Transformation Room or presenter series, and you maybe it's not serving you, hang on, because we have a lot of cool stuff being put together for that experience. It's going to be called Evolve. And right, Therese, it's just amazing what you're going to have in Evolve. And so, and if you're in the Transformation Room or the presenter series, you're grandfathered in over there. So just want to give everyone a heads up on that. And Yolanda, I'm sorry that we made you wait so long, but I'm going to unmute your mic, and I know you had something else to say. Thank you for sharing. Go ahead.
Well, honestly, I really think that I pressed the wrong button. I was trying to get to the chat, but since you have unmuted me,
Okay.
I will say this. We see either expressions of love or cries for love. And so a lot of what we see when it's, out of sorts is a person that's crying for love. And that is why, as Oliver was saying, we each have our own unique ways of being able to affect and effect our world. And we are talking about our near world, those people that are around us, those circumstances and situations that are around us. And part of how we affect that is the work that we do on ourselves in order for us to not add that energy to the negative stuff. So, part of our experience with love and forgiveness is that we also get to the point that we are non-judgmental, which was a big part of, our experience coming up in the in our Christian teaching. But so as we do that, we actually are affecting all of those things that are around us. And as Jennifer said, when we get to the point that we're quiet and we stay quiet longer, we will actually hear those things that become our part in order to make that change.
Yes.
So, and sorry I touched the wrong button. I'm on my little iPad. It's like, oh my gosh, sorry about that.
Well, that was a perfect kind of a follow-up to that. And thank you for sharing those truths. And you're 100% right on those. So thank you for making that mistake. It was perfect. And now our last hand is up, and then we'll be out of time. Valentine, the mic is all yours.
Okay, I'll be brief. What an amazing group today. I'm so happy to be here with you. I just wanted to quickly speak to Susan's question, because I think one of the important things too is that if there's a problem going on, and this has been my experience, where you think something's happening, you have to do something, give that problem to God. Like, really be demanding, say, you take care of this, something is happening, take care of this problem. and really put that trust there that it will be taken care of. And that's something that I've been practicing. And so my experience has been either the problem gets taken care of without me doing anything a lot of times. The other thing that can happen is I usually see the situation differently. So I may be guided to take action, but it's not the action that I thought I should be taking. It's a different guided action, and it is the effective action that comes in. So I think don't underestimate the trust in being guided, because our ego will jump in and be like, oh, you should be doing this. You are being hurt. This situation is real. That, in my experience, listening to that only continues the pain and continues the conflict and continues this feeling of injustice. When I sit and work on trusting in that guidance, the situation is solved, and in a better way than I would have imagined with my ego mind. So I just wanted to put that out there and hope that's helpful.
Thank you very much, Valentine.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your sharing today. And it looks like Therese, you
Just-
have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, just there people had a couple of questions, Bill, about related to the announcements. So December 14th, the 40-day launch app is live streamed, but Lisa's workshop is only in person. Is that correct? It's not going to
No,
be.
I'm going to live stream it, and I don't know
Okay.
who I'll need to hire and what we'll need to do for that. So there will be a charge for that. It's not going to be the workshop fee, but there will be a charge for the live streaming for her workshop only for the 40-day for the app launch. That will be set up and it'll be free, and it'll just be open for however we put it out there. We'll make it available just like this. We'll send a link out.
And we'll be physical. I'm not sure if I just understand what you just said, Therese, but we will physically be there at the Sheraton Hotel in Portsmouth on Saturday morning. So we've rented the space for all day Saturday and Sunday morning. So it's free in the morning for everyone, and it's just going to be a gathering, and then starting at 2:00 is when it's sort of like switching into a workshop.
So they were both events will be in person, but also live streamed.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Someone had a question also about, is the open mic continuing after December 6th?
We're still talking about that, and we'll let you know. I love this community. I love having this venue. So we just need to find the calendar date and make the decision of the commitment to be available and to have the live streaming set up. But the Fridays are going to be in Evolve. We have teachers set up that are going to be on a 1-year commitment in this TGF TV. That's going to be in Evolve. It's not going to be a free event. It's going to be part of a membership site and then the online open mic, so that we have this kind of a venue. We just need to find out how we're going to do it, what day of the week it will be, and how it will be managed and set up. And we're not ready to share all of this information because we're still in the planning process. And all of this is going to roll out on January 15th. So we have a little bit of time between now and then. And we will continue, even though we're ending on December the 6th, our Friday group, we will continue Friday live streaming for the month of December. And then when we roll out Evolve and what we're putting together that's a much bigger experience. It's a variety experience for every different level of your awakening. And that will be rolled out January 15th when we have it all put together. And so your questions will be answered with frequently asked questions, and we will be announcing things as we know exactly what they look like. So thank you everyone for being here. We're a minute before the hour. This has been a beautiful time of sharing. Oliver Blue, Rock the House, Jennifer Breakey, all the way from South Africa. You guys are amazing. And thank you for being our teachers today and the inspiration and love and sharing that we can use for rocket fuel for the next month and more. And we love all of you. I'm going to unmute the mic so everyone can say goodbye. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
Miss Casanova.
Happy birthday, Mama Bird.
Happy birthday, Catherine. Bye.